I invite District Director A, Toastmaster Jaswinder Bhatti, to take the stage and introduce our keynote speaker. Over to you, Jaswinder.
Thank you, Akshita. I didn't had a promotion. I'm still the division director. So thank you for that, giving me this opportunity to introduce one of the renowned person of our country. Today, as a keynote speaker, we have Dr. Srimathy Kesan. She is a founder and CEO of a leading science and technology incubator. And when we say incubator, we means it incubates the children, the new generation of India. The name of the organization is Space Kids India. She has been pivotal in the space education, especially for the young generation of India. Her accolades and her awards has a long list. I have a 10-page introduction of her profile, but just to name a few, she is she is the ambassador for India from India towards NASA, ESA, GCTC, and she has been pivotal, and she has launched her organization has launched 3 satellites with the coordination and with the efforts of the young generation of India. So without taking much ado, I would ask Kesan to play a short PPT, and then we will be honored to hear Dr. Srimathy.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the inspiration behind Kalamsat, the founder and CEO of Space Kids India, Dr. Srimathy Kesan.
Good morning, everybody. On a lazy Sunday, sitting there at home, and I guess you've come here all together to have some fun. You know, it's so difficult to have this kind of an interaction because you don't get to feel your audience. It's like you're just speaking to the wall. And oh my God, for a person like me who's a real people person, it just puts me off when I don't get to see the emotions of the people. But I think that's the new trend. So let's go with the flow. Thank you so much, Avantika. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And congratulations, Toastmasters, for having a brilliant journey. It was wonderful. I logged in earlier to see all your accolades and everything. Well, a little about this birdie's journey. She opened her eyes in a small town in Ramanathapuram in the southernmost part of India, close to Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram rings a bell for everybody. Abdul Kalam's birthplace. Yes, probably the wind swayed and, it just had a feel over this little birdie, and that's why she's in the space industry today. Earlier, a little bit of my childhood, I had my wings opened at Hyderabad, schooling and my college. And I was an all-rounder in school and college, played about 10 basketball nationals, and then a state athlete. NCC, I was the best cadet of Andhra Pradesh NCC, went ahead leading the contingent to the Republic Day Parade, a paratrooper, and an All India silver medalist firing. Oh my God, it goes on. Anyway, I won't take much of a time on all the accolades part. But saying so, one thing I remember, and that's very close to my heart because that was the most memorable moment and a destiny change. It was 22nd November 1992 when I led the contingent, the first ever time a girl was leading a parade with a sword. And General K.V. Krishna Rao was the chief guest. He was amazed. He was amazed by the performance. He said, "Aise ladki chahiye hame army mein." So he called for my dad and he said, "I want this girl in the army." I was in my graduation second year, end of my second year, getting into the third year. And he called my dad and he told, "We want this girl in the army. Without all the examinations and everything, I give her my recommendation and she will get into the army." My God, what a day, what a day. You know, it's so difficult to crack the army examinations. And here I am getting through just like a piece of cake into the army. It was a dream. It was a dream. But destiny played its cards. My father picked up my wedding invitation and handed to him. And that day evening, I was leaving to Chennai for my wedding. What a transition. Right from holding a sword in my hand, I move on to holding a spatula, making lovely dosas for my family, being a typical South Indian. So making dosas for my family and being accoladed for that. If there is good mood in the family, yes, of course, you will be appreciated and accoladed for that. Otherwise, it is, oh, I didn't know whether I had a dosa or an idli. But moving on, I had a baby girl, a Barbie doll when I was 20 years old. She would cry, I would cry. Don't know what to do with the Barbie girl. You know, suddenly you jump from being the best cadet, a sportsman, to a mother. What a transition it was. Oh my goodness. But there was always something in me that would say that whatever you do, you got to put in your wholehearted effort and you need to be the best in whatever you do. So being Mother's Day today, I would proudly say I wanted to be the best mom, you know. So I felt, okay, I'm going to bring this Barbie doll to make her a beautiful woman and a good human being, whatever she may be, but a good human being for the society. The little that I can do for my country, if not me being a soldier, at least a good mother. But then there was something in me that always kept saying, Srimathy was not born just to be a mother, just to be a wife of somebody. She was born for something else. But what is that something else? You know, a typical South Indian family, you feel once the girl is married, she has to take care of the kitchen, the house, the guest, and, you know, that's it. If the husband is doing well, then, you know, you get good clothes, car, good house, and that's it. Your life is made. Badi Zindagi, you know, it's called. But that was not there within me, you know. God blessed me with all these things, but yet there was some itch within me that I was not doing anything for my country. What am I doing here sitting? Well, I think destiny has to move on and has to take on some time. So I waited for my time. I waited. I would do small jobs, unpaid one, just to give me that emotional satisfaction that I was doing something. So I choreographed about 55 fashion shows. I lent my voice for documentaries and ad films. Mind you, nothing my family knows. Nothing my family knows. And one day when I had introduced, you know, I was casting for a Pepsi ad. And I had to cast Trisha. Now she's a leading artist in South India, Trisha. And it got delayed by an hour. When I got back home, royally screwed up. And that's the end of that journey. All bori bistar pack karo, be there at home, you're not doing anything. Still, you know, the fire within me was like, you know, I don't think I should be giving up for all these things. There are so many women out there fighting for so many reasons. All these reasons shouldn't stop you. So that kept on telling me, Moon is a beautiful friend of mine. So anything that happens, joy or sorrow, I would run up to the terrace, sit there, talk to the moon and tell the grandma in the moon that I will be there someday. I will be there someday. I want to see you. But you're not a rocket scientist or an astronaut, so you don't know whether you're going to go to the moon. But the urge was there inside. So again, there is a waiting period. Waited. When I was 36, you know. I thought, oh my God, already 36. But I always felt I was only a girl out of school. The number 36 was really haunting me a bit. I said, I've not done anything yet. When am I going to start? I meet a friend of mine. That's where friendship plays a great role. I meet a friend of mine who was there with me at the NCC Delhi Republic Day. She was the Maharashtra Best Cadet, Rima Sisodia. And I met her after 16 long years. No WhatsApp, no contact. So that day when I met her, again, my destiny card changed. She said, what are you doing to yourself? You spoke so much. You were going to do so much. I thought you were in the army, but I didn't know you were like this. Yeah, round and roly-poly. She didn't know I was like this. Then she told me, you are coming out of this and you're going to make your dream happen. I said, how is it possible? You know, my family is not going to allow. She said, I don't know. Goli mara yaar, chalo, there is so much. You can do it. So that you can do it gave me another push. She put me on to the US Convention Bureau, where there was a conference happening in Miami. And I was nominated for that by her. And I go there directly from a housewife who was only signing checks for the purpose of domestic purpose. And there I'm getting to wear a blazer for the first ever time. After my Delhi Republic Day, I was wearing the blazer. What a moment it was. What a moment it was. Well, don't ask me how you convinced your family and all that. It's a long story. I don't want to take long time. But 6 hours before the flight, I could convince my family. 6 hours before the flight. And I packed and the flight took off. And this space shuttle took off in such a height that again, there was no mudke dekhna. It just went on and on. That's where I got to see the presentation. Miami, I land Miami, everything's so beautiful. You are doing everything that you dreamt of. You were being in a land where people dream of, and everything with your capabilities. So you were going and meeting everybody. So that was really, really beautiful. And when I went there, it was a huge exhibition hall and about 3,600 participants. It was huge for me. I was totally lost. But then the confidence within me, I said, there is something going to be different here. Something going to be happening here. So there I got to meet the directors of NASA. And what happened? I spoke to them. I got to see the presentation of NASA. And then I asked the directors, are children from India coming here to participate in these camps? And they said, oh, well, you know, we just had one group and after that we didn't hear from India. Because all of us know how difficult it is to get a US visa. And that too for children, oh my God, it's a huge task. That's where I thought probably this is what God wants me to do now. So I told them I will be coming there with a huge contingent and we will start the travel from India to the United States. And that too, the thing that we've been reading over in the books is going to be a reality. NASA is a dream for most of us. We just read through the books, but we always felt only astronauts could go there, scientists could go there. But little did we think that even children can go there and experience the whole thing and come up with that little knowledge that will push them to do big things. So 2010, 27th April was the first journey. I had taken about 108 children, and until now, I've taken about 1,500 children. This is not a picnic or an educational tour. This is an experiential learning, a complete transformation for a child. It was very difficult. People didn't understand why I had to take children from here. It was very difficult. You know, generally, I wouldn't like to speak about all the difficult segments in my life because every human being has to undergo something or the other. So to gain something, you got to lose something. And probably I lost many things, but this particular thing was amazing. So I had taken children there, constantly taking children there, interacting with the scientists and touching the rockets. You know, it gave an amazing feed. I said, we need to move beyond this. You know, just bringing children from here, giving them that experiential learning, I don't think that's the only thing we have to be doing. There should be something more beyond that. So that's where I thought we need to create scientists for the country, young scientists for the country who can do something in the space arena. Because generally, you know, only people think that space arena is so huge and so difficult that you need to have a PhD, and only after that you can get into that. But I wanted to break that myth. I thought children of our country are extremely talented. And these children, if they are nurtured, mentored, and given a platform, I'm sure they're going to be rocking. So that's where we wanted to start launching a satellite. What? Launching a satellite? No way you're given permissions. Way back into 2015, it was total no. The government says, except ISRO, we have none of us can do all that. But then, you know, what we did, if we had to use the term satellite, then we are not going to get permissions. Why not we tweak it like the West? So we made that as a high altitude ballooning. We termed that as a high altitude ballooning. And we launched our first balloon sat in the year 2015. And that was a huge success. That was a real success. And people started thinking, oh my God, children can read space. Children can do so much in space. It was an awakening call for many schools and colleges and, of course, parents. We didn't stop there, because ultimately you wanted to reach the sky, which is the space beyond the troposphere and the stratosphere. So at least beyond the Kármán line, there is about 100 kilometers. And what happened? To our happiness, we had a competition announced by NASA to make any payload that is about 68 grams in a 4 centimeter cube. We were supposed to send any experiment. And what we thought was, instead of any experiment, why not make a satellite of that size? Because making a satellite is generally a huge affair, costing about 3 to 5 crores. People thought, I mean, without the guidance of a scientist, how would you do that? But life is a journey where it is testing and trial, and succeed. So that's where what we thought, we will give it a shot, and we made the world's lightest and first ever 3D printed satellite. When we sent this proposal to NASA, they actually flipped. And the Space Coast director, he actually called me and said, guys, I literally fell off the chair. I mean, is this the proposal? Is it what you guys are going to be doing in reality? And I said, of course. He was like, okay, so we are in. We're going to be supporting you. Whatever you need, you are in. So first ever time, Indian satellite getting on a NASA's rocket, that too a student satellite getting on a NASA's rocket, world's lightest first ever 3D printed satellite. And to show you that, this is the mock model. This is just, you know, it fits in your palm, just fits in your palm. And this has a huge story, because this all started off when we had gulab jamuns. So that we will speak on another day. But moving on from this gave us a huge recognition. All over, world over, almost about 900 medias covered. And they came to our place and they said, how could you get this idea first? You know, this is truly path-breaking, because satellites are generally weighs huge tons. And it costs so much. How could you think of this much? We said necessity, mother of invention. We didn't have the money. So we designed this small. So students, what we thought was, students, rather than just reading through books, they can actually do this, because we made the satellite at a cost of 5 lakhs. So, you know, tuition fees of the school, if 4 children get together, they can make a satellite launch They can actually get the data, live data. But this went up to 126. The apogee was 126 kilometers. We were greedy. We wanted our satellite to be there forever. Whenever we look up to the sky, there should be something of ours, our baby. So on 20th December 2018, we were on the sets of Doordarshan here in Chennai. And the anchor, after asking all the questions about Kalamsat, finally she asked me, so what's your next mission, Dr. Kesan? I said, of course. I mean, we've got 2 missions. One is, going to the moon, of course, but I know it's going to take some time. But the one thing that's really an urge, or, it's all there in our minds, is we need to fly in the PSLV. Our bird, our baby should fly in PSLV from India. Whatever said and done, NASA is NASA. But our hearts are here in India. If you don't do this here in India, how else? So what happened? 1 week later, I get a message from ISRO headquarters. You're invited for a meeting. Please come here to Bangalore on the 9th of January. Oh my God, I froze, literally froze. So I went there. I thought it was just a common meeting, and they were going to ask us to give a presentation, and probably over the period of time, we were going to be launching a satellite. But you wouldn't believe. I sit there, and the people whom I used to admire, adore, seeing them on Google and their speeches, all the directors of all the centers, they were all sitting there right in front of my eyes. It was, oh my God, I felt so small sitting there. Oh my God, what's happening? The AC was at 19, but I was sweating. I was literally sweating. What are they going to ask me to do? Because I thought it was just going to be a one-on-one meeting, but I was sitting here right in front of 10 people and me single soul. What am I going to be doing? And then they said, okay, Dr. Kesan, come on, could you explain if we had to give you an opportunity to fly your satellite in our upcoming mission, would you be able to do it? What? Upcoming mission? You know what? 9th of January, I was talking to them. 24th of January was the launch. Oh my God. I was like, how are we going to do? What are we going to do? Too many things running into my head. And they said, okay, we want your team to come over to Bangalore tomorrow. Are you going to be staying here? Or, I thought it was just a general meeting, and I can't say no to anything because this was the thing that we were waiting for so long. So I said, okay, I'll get my team tomorrow. I flew back to Chennai, then took my entire team there to Bangalore. We were sitting there, and it was just like anybody, a teacher, a regular teacher with known students. They pulled out a paper, they pulled out a pencil, and they said, okay, the PSLV is going to be like this. So your satellite needs to sit here. So you need to do this cruise. And I'm like, hold on, what is this? Because this satellite is going in a PSLV, and the PSLV vibration is huge. It's a very, very difficult preposition. It's a very difficult one to get through the vibration test. So you need to have the material, you need to have the components that will fit into all this. And this was going 437 kilometers above. Actual space. So I was so worried whether we were going to get components. By then in my mind, I started working, one, I'm talking here, and the other, my mind is working. Where am I going to process all this, procure all this? And finally, the bomb came out. You know what? Today is the 10th of January. Well, lady, if you can hand over the satellite on the 16th of January, we'll be very glad, and your satellite will go. What? 16th? Just 6 days to build a satellite. Yeah, you've got everything. It's just the sensors and everything. We'll tell you, you can just procure, you can do this, you can assemble, you can do this. Huh? For them, it was an easy thing. For us, oh my God. But then, again, destiny, beautiful destiny. It's just that, you keep throwing things to the universe, and universe just gives it to you. Just gives it to you. It was Sankranti holidays, and in India, in southern part of India, 1 week of holiday, one whole week of holiday for Sankranti. Nobody does anything. What did we do? We opened the stores, literally. We said, please, please, the CNC mission, they said, no, they're all going away for a vacation. They're going to their villages. I said, I don't know, I'll fall at your feet, do whatever, but we need to go this. It's to educate them, to motivate them, to push them to get one cube. Humongous task. But it was possible. But the best part is, we needed a 10 gram IC. A 10 gram IC that was available only in the United States. Who would go to your US? I had a visa. I can travel, but I can't leave my team and go here. Oh my God, at least I would have made 500 calls to people to know if somebody has a US visa, they can just go pick the 10 grams and come back. Oh, oh my God. Then I found one bakra and he was like, okay, I'll do anything. And he went there, he jumped the airport railing, he picked the 10 gram IC, left the other side, jumped again, and took the same flight and came back. He narrated a whole story. The stewardess the pilot and stewardess didn't even come out by the time I'm getting again in. And they were laughing at me for this 10 gram IC. You flew all the way to the US and got back. The stories are so many when we built. This is a mock satellite that we built. This is the prototype. And this satellite finally, with all odds and all positive energy, we didn't sleep for almost 6 days. No food, nothing, but we could do this. It sat on the vibration table on this 15th at Bangalore. We were all crossing our fingers, and people said, this satellite, I don't think, the screws, our people, if it's built by students, because they've got all the experience in the world, they feel students can't do anything. So I just held my buddies so close. I said, we will make it, don't worry. And you won't believe the chairman ISRO asked us to do only an x-axis test. But the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, all the kind of test was done. And our baby sat in very beautifully on the vibration test, and we passed the vibration test. And it was so beautiful on the board. They have a board. They write what are the tests and what are the, the babies pass out the test. Kalam Sat was there on it. So beautiful. What a feeling. We went there the previous day at 12:30 in the afternoon, and early morning, 4 o'clock, we came out of nobody was there. They said, we can't do it. You come back tomorrow and all that. But again, all our cleanings and everything made sure that the satellite was intact. The chairman called and he said, you are good to go. So we handed the satellite on the 16th and at Sriharikota and got back home, crossing our fingers for the takeoff on the 24th Jan. Oh my God, a rocket is made with millions, and our satellite was sitting there. It was an unimaginable and such a beautiful feel when you were royally taken in a separate car, only the team, and you were separately, the history says none of the teams were introduced on the podium by any ISRO chairman. They've got a lot of satellites being launched, but first ever time they said, because this was the satellite that was built in 6 days, and that too, the satellite was going on the 4th stage of the rocket for the very first time in PSLV's history. So they put us on the podium and the chairman introduced us to the entire world. Oh my God, tears just swelled. And when the boosters when the fire was going down and the rocket was just taking off, it was just that our hearts was leaping, and joys of tears, and tears of joy, sorry, no words, everything was blank. And the previous day there was a beautiful write-up in a paper where they had the PSLV, and it was a full moon day. So the full moon and the C-44 with your baby satellite, my God, an unforgettable moment in my life. So a girl, from a simple background with so many dreams, landed up here, and today I am where I am just because I have the confidence that Srimathy would do something for the country. She's not just born for being a wife or just a mother of one kid, but today I have at least about 1,000 kids who call me mom. And I'm so happy from morning receiving so many happy Mother's Day, mom, you're this and you're that. So more than sending satellites, the content that I feel, the content that I feel being a mother to so many children that I could produce for India is the best. Hey, thank you so much for listening to my story. I'm so happy to be being here. I'm really happy being here. So any questions, anything, I'm ready.
Thank you, Dr. Srimathy. And I'm sure that we would be having few questions because your journey is long and it's always inspiring. And we would love to have few interactions, few questions ready. I think we have few questions ready from. So let me call upon for the Q&A section our very own President Distinguished Area Director, Toastmaster Khushbu.
Thank you, Jaswinder. I think I am audible, but I must not be visible.
Yeah, you're audible, but not visible.
Just 1 second. I think it should work now. Is it working fine now? Because according to me, my video is switched on. But then I just can't see anything.
No, your video is visible.
Okay, no worries. I mean, I wouldn't want to waste time. I'm sure everyone remembers how I look, minus the lockdown. That being said, thank you so much, ma'am, for the entire journey, for enlightening us with the journey that you've had, the challenges that you've faced across this particular journey. One question that popped up in my mind, you being a mother of so many kids, and today being Mother's Day, as rightly said, what is that one thing that you've learned from these kids? One learning, if you want to share, that a kid can teach us, which we as elders have not learned or have just let it go.
Determination, and the ever smiling. In the most critical moment also, they crack jokes. For us, it is annoying. For us, we feel that, probably you need to be very serious on missions of such, when you handle such tasks, you need to be very serious and you need to work. But, they just work with such ease. And you won't believe when we were finally assembling, we actually lost an IC. And I thought, that's done. We are doomed. But you won't believe at the most critical point, they're asking me for an ice cream and they say, don't worry, madam, sab ho jayega. Ho jayega is the mantra. They are really beautiful souls. Seriously, the grit and determination and the smile that they put through is amazing. And I think I want to be like that. Be a child forever. Don't take too much, take one at a time.
Yeah, that's a nice, that's rightly said, that you'll have to be a child even if you're grown up and take things as they come, because that's the best way that you could learn. I could see that before I ask my second question, I think Neenu has a question. So Jaswinder, how does it work? Will she directly share the question over Zoom with the Zoom master, or we're going to unmute her?
Yeah, you can unmute Neenu. Zoom master,
Okay.
please unmute Neenu.
Yes, she's unmuted.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so spellbound by you. And I don't want to ask any regular question. I just want to ask you, when are you coming to Mumbai? That's all I want to ask. And I'm sure all my fellow Mumbaiites, all the Toastmaster clubs over here want to know that.
Hey, big hugs to you. Definitely flying very soon.
Yeah, we
I
really
miss
want
seeing
to.
all of you. Really, I really miss seeing all of you. This is like,
We'll,
at least.
we'll serve you the best vada pav that you have ever had in your
Arey
life.
wah, kya baat hai. Thank you.
That's a promise. Yeah, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
all my fellow Mumbai Toastmasters would agree that we will ensure to regale you, entertain you with the best Mumbai culture. So please
Thank you.
do come as soon as possible once the lockdown is over.
Sure, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ninu. So this takes me, before I move to my next question, as Ninu is going to help you with vada pav from Bombay, from the people of Bombay, what you're going to do for me, doctor, is that whenever you're flying from Chennai, get me, I reside in Ahmedabad. So if at all, and I am from Chennai, I've grown in Chennai. So if at all you're going to travel to Ahmedabad, please get me Murugan idli,
Wow.
idli and pongal. These are two things that you can get for me.
Sure. Definitely done. Promise.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, dear.
So the second question that I had was, obviously you have had your own challenges to become Dr. Smith, Srimathy Kesan, that you have become, and for people to know you. Now, what is that one challenge that you faced which has actually made you what you are? Obviously, it is, I'm not going to ask about how did you convince your family or no, but then how did it, what was the journey when you were trying to convince the parents of the kids to actually get into this? Because you had this idea, you came back and you wanted to build it up, but then obviously people will have some apprehensions in sending their kids to this new idea and all of those. So how did that work out?
Seriously, it was like people thought I was mad because they wouldn't send their children, Chennai to Delhi or anything for their school picnics and all that. And, leave alone sending them so far. It was a very difficult task. And, but then, the one thing in India is, if one parent agrees, then it's sorry to use this term, but, the mentality is herd mentality, one, I agree, Arey yaar, my child also should go. Oh, my child also should go and experience this kind of a feel our Indian parents have. So that way, I think God blessed, and I was able to convince about 108 children in the first trip. So once their pictures and everything appeared on the television and the media, oh, all parents, okay, take care. You won't believe, they'll keep telling you, they'll keep repeating the same questions every day, 200 calls, will you take care of my child? Arey Baba, I said, every child is my child, it's not that I have to take special care of your child. I'll definitely I'm a mother, so I know how it is. Don't worry, your child. Today, you won't believe, my children, my first group of children are working in Rolls-Royce and in UK, and one is in the Netherlands Space Agency, and a couple of them are pilots in New Zealand. So you know what happened? All these children, they come to you first to show their offer letter. They literally come here and then they go home to show their parents. That kind of a bond, I have been able to, attach with these children. But initial stages, as you rightly said, it was very, very, very difficult. But if it is difficult, only then I have a story to say. Otherwise, there is nothing to say.
Yeah, that's a nice takeaway. Only if the journey is difficult, then you have learnings and you build up your story. So thank you so much. Because of paucity of time, Doctor, we are not going to take any further questions, but then we will try connecting you with people on another medium. I think the team can work that out for the benefit of the contest that we have. So thank you so much once again, and I'm going to hand it over back to Jaswinder.
Thank you, Khushbu. A beautiful thought shared at the last by both of the speakers. Nothing worth having is easy, and that's the reason this wasn't easy. The entire journey wasn't easy. This entire event wasn't easy, and we will come back to that in the later segment today. But now, as we are already moving, we need to move ahead on the agenda. I'll give back the stage to our lovely MOC Toastmaster Akshata.